Testing. Can everyone hear me? Okay, if so, I would rather do it without the mic. Okay. The reason why, right, is because I come from theatre background. So as a director and as an actor, we have to train people to project their voice. And so that's a little bit bad about me. So after graduating from NTU, that was year 2000, I went to my first job as a system engineer with DSTA. So I had to work with the Air Force people to do simulation games. And I remember those were good times because we always stayed back on Friday night when all our bosses were back. And then we went for early dinner and we came back and started playing network games like Diablo, Counter-Strike. And the reason why we do that, right, we joke that we want to test the network efficiency. And for me, as system engineer, I work at the front part and the back part. What do I mean by that? I do user requirement. So I go to the Air Force people and say, sir, what are your requirements for the software that I want to give you? And then I will usually be the bad person that comes and say, sir, this is version 50 of the software. Your exercise is in 2 days' time. I can't give you that feature which was all the way back in version 1, which you say was bad. So, I was the bad guy to the Air Force people. And also, I was a testing person. So I have to go back to my team and say, your code is terrible because I just broke your code. And now the system hangs. So I think even my own team, they don't like me. So that was my first job. And nowadays, right, there's a lot of talk about AI. But in 2004, that was when I actually did my master's at ISS, Institute of System Science, in AI. We did fuzzy logic and all the funny things, case-based reasoning. I remember that time well because our project team was only in the whole history of the entire school of the AI course, right, or Masters of AI. It was the biggest team ever, 8 of us, instead of the usual 4. And we worked with Tan Tok Seng. We did a trauma system with them. A trauma system and embedding all the AI concepts we've learned over the past 1.5 years. And we actually got the best project. But that is not what I want to talk about today because that was my first job. And then I quit at the peak of the career. And then I was lounging around, and then that was when my second boss found me in a job fair. And he talked to me about financial planning. And I told him, I actually have an insurance advisor from Prudential. I think she's MDRT, she does a good job, but she hasn't come back to look for me for the past 3 years when I was with DSTA. And I think all financial advisors are crap. Okay, so anyway, my boss invited me. He was quite persistent, and I actually spent 14 years in the financial industry as an IFA, independent financial advisor. So we don't just work for one company, but we do investment, we do land banking. I've done wine banking, wine investments for the French wines. So that was 2004. I went into the financial industry as a newbie. I totally don't know anything. And why I brought that up because after 4 years with the financial industry, right, you see this magazine is actually produced by my business partner then, iPlus. So I focus more on the investment part because every quarter, right, you get this thing called red fee. So if you manage your portfolio for clients well, right, you get about 1%. And I'm very happy to say that, during even the 2008 financial crisis, none of the customers lost money. In fact, they made more money during that crisis because I always have this tagline to my clients: if I don't invest in it myself, I don't try it out for 3 months, I wouldn't be selling it to you. And the same philosophy I do for my health insurance. If I don't get my mom to buy, I wouldn't buy it, I wouldn't sell it, I wouldn't recommend it to you. And that has always been a philosophy of mine. I would try it firsthand myself, I experience the benefit, then I will recommend my clients. So now what do I do? Like that was my first 2 jobs, right? So now what do I do is, actually I'm a founder of my own business, it's called Oracle Journey. You can say it's coaching, but what I do is actually I work with tarot cards, I do feng shui, I do I call it magic, some people call it witchcraft. I do all the paranormal stuff like face cleansing, feng shui, dealing with all the unseen stuff. So personally I like horror. I love scaring the shit out of people at Halloween Horror Nights. I've been doing that for the last 6 years. Okay, and so what I do now is I run my own business called Oracle Journey. I work with people to advise them on things like career, on love, and things like that. And I also, for the past 2 years, I've been traveling a lot to KL to run events. So in KL is quite amazing. Every month they have 2 or 3 events. So I have cat event, dog event, durian event, even Daddy's Day event, and Halloween and Christmas. So Halloween is actually my favorite holiday because you get to dress up. And I remember like 4 years ago when I was in the middle of my, so I've actually been running Oracle Journey since 2016 in April when I joined my friend's New Age shop somewhere in Kandahar Street. Okay, and I've also been reading for a bar in Haji Lane. That was 2000 and probably after COVID 2020, under 2023 when it closed down. Okay, so what I've been doing for the past 2 years is actually I've been traveling a lot to KL. So I always joke with my friend, I'm 60% Malaysian. And when I go KL, right, they say you don't behave like Singaporean. Why? Because you don't go cheap. You mean Singaporeans when they go to KL, go to Malaysia because of our low exchange rate, right? Everything they say is cheap, cheap, cheap. Then I look at my KL friends like, I'm not a chicken. No, I don't go cheap, 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 you know. So past 2 years, I've actually been a lot of time in KL, running events, even like organizing events. So past like 3 years ago, I was actually recruited by a marketing company, and we were doing this wellness and future event at MBS. When I was then in April, they had to fill a big hall with 40 people, 40 tables. Okay, when I know that only 3 of the tables were filled, and I promised that even if I were to I will kill myself, I'll make sure the event is successful. Okay, I actually in 3 months time, they employed me in June. Okay, in 3 months time, I actually filled an entire room for them. With my connections from around the region. So what I've been doing past few years is actually been going a lot to Thailand. I've been bringing things like this back to Singapore to sell, to KL to sell. And other than doing, okay, so what's my point is that along the way, right, things happen. So like when I was in this financial line, I actually have a health scare. So in the peak of my career, right, actually kind of felt breathless after meeting. That night, right, that day I actually had 11 appointments back to back. So by the time I reached my last appointment, my last class out at Newton, it was at 2 a.m. So when I went home at 3 a.m., right, I couldn't breathe. So my mom had to send me to NUH because we were just staying at Buona Vista, right? And my blood pressure was only 30. Yeah, almost on the deathbed already. So it was like damn severe pneumonia. And I was in the hospital for about 1.5 months. So during that 1.5 months, right, what happened was my dad was actually in a nursing home. But why was he in a nursing home? Because he had diabetes, and we tried to hide all the chocolates in the house from him. Sadly, we still find them. And then there was one day my mom decided, okay, no more chocolates. And then what happened was he went out to find chocolate. He was crossing the bridge between my 2 blocks, and he fell down, he broke his hip. So at that time, I was busy with my financial advisor career. My mom was busy with her work, and she couldn't look after him. So she put him in a nursing home. Okay, so well, I was fighting for my own life. That was 2014. My dad actually passed away in a nursing home. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And also at the peak of the career, I came from the other room. So this lady was sharing about her issues with addiction. So I happened to mix up with the wrong group of people. So I was basically kind of found unconscious in the hotel room somewhere in Singapore. I had to spend like 2 years in prison at the peak of my career. They called drug rehabilitation. That 2 years was quite jarring because like totally you cannot go back to the financial line. I had to pick myself up, so I did marketing. I called up my own company, and now I'm actually advising people. I work a lot with single moms. I work a lot with ladies with relationship issues, and I always share this Hawaiian concept with my clients about letting go. There's a lot of things in life that we hold on to too tightly, whether it's emotional, whether it's career, whether it's people, or whether it's situations. So maybe I can practice this with my clients, and also I want to share this with you. It's called Ho'oponopono. It's from Hawaii side. It's 4 very simple phrases. Okay, I go first line. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And these are actually 4 phrases we don't get to say a lot to people. Like these are the things that in an Asian family context we don't really talk about such things like I love you. Thank you. Even my mom, like, what? Don't say I love you, okay? She's about 84 now. She's 1939. So what my point saying today is that even though sometimes we might fall down, we have to pick ourselves up because life goes on. The show must go on, and I'm a testament that no matter how hard you feel, no matter how hard you fall, you still pick yourself up, and you still have to stand up for the people that believe in you, and that you have to give space for. Have to give space for the people that are with you. Yeah. And maybe yes, one last minute. Okay, I want to share this song. Actually, I shared. Okay, if you were to follow me on Instagram, it's the Oracle Journey, the.oracle.journey. So I had this post recently where I talked about me and my dad, and that I couldn't say goodbye to him. And this was a song that I shared in that post. Okay, it's by James Blunt. I think many of you all will know his song "Goodbye My Lover," but you probably never heard this song called "Monsters," right? Have any of you all heard the song "Monsters"? So it's actually like a poem from a son to the father. Okay, so I'll just play this with you. Yeah, he's one of my favorite singers. Okay. So his father is actually on the topic. It's actually his life story. So we usually don't try to correct our parents right or wrong. And I was in my younger days, I would say I don't want to be like my mom, I don't want to be like my father. And I realized as we grow older, we kind of end up coming with them. So I couldn't have a chance to tell my love him. But it's the chorus that actually touched a lot. I'm not his son. He's my father. We are just two grown men trying to say goodbye. There's no need to forgive. No need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine. And I only know him when I was 12. I only spent like maybe 20 years. But that was good enough. So this talk is also for him. I want to make him proud, and I want to also say about my closure and say goodbye to him. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Very touching. Really appreciate you. Yes.
And sorry about being in the wrong room.
Sorry. Okay.